Holy frickin' crap, everybody.
Holy crap.
It's me, Monster Mac, and there's just something about the Maccast that makes me very excited. As always, I'm pumped, and sitting on the side of me, speaking about being pumped,
What's up?
it's training number one.
I wouldn't say pumped, Mac. Plump probably is a little closer to accurate, but you know, it's like a shit brick house, you know.
Yeah,
just saying. I'm just saying, Mac.
And on the Maccast, we got a very special guest for you, but no one does the announcements better than training number one. So take it, training.
Hey, all right, man. Don't we usually talk about like Mac news or any of that?
You see, Trainer, you're tricky with this Maccast because anytime I kick straight into the Mac news, you're like, hey, what about an awesome special guest? You know what I mean? So I like to get the announcement out there. But if you're listening to this Maccast, you already know who's on this Maccast. Trainee?
Ladies and gentlemen, in the house tonight, we have professional wrestler. Oh, he's making a face.
Professional, yeah, I guess you could say that from time to time.
Occasionally, right? Still, but you know, you've had a match or
Part-time professional wrestler.
Whoa.
PT.
Do I look like Dwayne Johnson? I am a handsome man, but I am no Dwayne Johnson.
And we're gonna promoter of the RWA Renegade Wrestling Alliance. We're gonna get into some shit today, T.
Well, that's why I'm here.
That's all right. I am excited. So what we usually do on the Maccast is we bang out a little Mac news first before we get into the whole topics and discussions and all those good things.
So before we get into taking a shit, I got some Mac news for you, people. Trainee?
Feel free to chime in anytime you want.
Okay, all right.
What's up, Mac?
Trainee, I would like to compliment myself on this awesome jacket that I'm wearing because I'm in fact rocking the Robbie Ellis jacket. It's official.
Mac, I'm gonna bust out the phone and I'm gonna take a picture of you rocking the Robbie Ellis jacket. That way, people know that you're not lying.
Oh, he's not lying. I'm looking right at it. I wouldn't lie to you.
You're wearing a Minutemen shirt too, which is strange.
Can we crop that out of the shot?
Yeah, I might color it in black. That way, it just looks like he's wearing a plain black tee. Okay, and photo. Sounds good. All right, Mac. So I'm gonna post that online. He wasn't lying. I'm telling you. So, Mac, you're rocking the Robbie Ellis jacket. How did you get your hands on like, it's literally his jacket? How did that happen?
Well, I know the story behind that.
Uh-oh.
He was up in Maine with Robbie Ellis, and they were at a bingo hall. Go figure. But it was bingo night for the seniors. And he actually beat Robbie Ellis in a game of bingo to earn that jacket.
That is, in fact, true. That's 100% truth to that story. But he didn't pay up on the jacket at that time.
Oh.
So I had Eric Dillon may or may not have robbed it from him.
I'm leaning a little bit towards May.
Well, from what Eric Dillon tells me is that Robbie Ellis happens just to leave his jacket behind because he's so rich because he does them paintings and stuff.
Yeah,
So he sells them.
Yeah.
No, he's the canvas man.
I understand.
So he paints.
Okay, continue.
So he sells them, and he has so much money to pay for all the jackets. So sometimes he just leaves them behind. Eric Dillon likes to snatch them up.
You know, I heard this.
He has multi.
I heard the same
jackets.
thing about Flair. He was just so damn rich, he just leaves his robe everywhere.
Exactly. So Eric Dillon, for some reason, had me hold on to his jacket. Well, he owed me a jacket anyway, so I might as well keep this one.
Okay.
Any other Mac news, dude?
I'm also not allowed to let Trevor wear it. But I got some very special Mac news because right now, T Phoenix, you're looking at and also talking to the NWW Extreme Tag Team Champion of the World. Can you believe it?
Of at least Woonsocket and Blackstone. I don't know about the world.
Blackstone, Mass. That's its Mass, right?
Yes.
All right. So
Just barely.
I'm pretty damn excited because we won the belts.
And I heard about that, and I don't mean to cut you off, but congratulations. I want to be the first to publicly congratulate you guys.
Thank you, dude. Much appreciated.
I wouldn't be here unless I liked you guys, obviously, and I just think highly of both of you, and I'm glad to have you a part of the RWA, and I congratulate you on your win at NWW.
Thank you. Sure, I know you like me more than you like him, but that's okay. We don't have to talk about that on the podcast.
Later.
What? So yeah. Anyways, I got the belts on my mantle right now because we
Mantle. Don't lie to the fans.
Okay, it was there in my gear bag. But we are, in fact, broadcasting this Mack cast from the Mack Cave. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Right from the deep darkness.
Was that the Batman?
No, that was the Mack song. From the deep darkness of the Mack Cave. So T Phoenix, I would like, what a gentleman. The guy comes out to my place, you know what I mean, to my pad, and does this Mack cast. And so I just want to kick it off. That's enough Mack news. I think it's all out there.
Yeah.
Really?
Any other Mac news can be found on monstermac.net, I'm sure. Oh, by the way, we never mentioned about how our DVDs are Newberry Comics. We should probably promote that sometime.
I'm sorry, since we're in the Mack Cave, I've hit the French wine a little early, so I forgot about that one. Yeah, but you can go to your local Newberry Comics and pick up Mackumentary, the Mackumentary.
It's a great stocking stuffer.
It's awesome, that's right. And right now we got a Christmas deal.
There's more. You got to go to prowrestlingtees.com/MackCast, and you can get your official MackCast T-shirt. I'm just saying, it's pretty dope looking.
Tell them about the Christmas deals.
The Christmas deal is you send us proof of purchase either from monstermac.net or from prowrestlingtees.com that you bought a T-shirt. Boom, we send you a free DVD.
Whoa.
That's right. We must be crazy to give this shit away. It's such a good deal.
You even have the big guy sizes?
We've got the, especially on the MackCast.com, they got sizes like child small to like 4XL.
4XL. Oh, all right.
So it goes, and I think we have some monster ones left too, some bigger ones. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I checked the inventory recently, and that's a check mark from Monster Mac.
Okay. So, and I think those are the only two things that we got to plug. So let's kick off this interview there, Mac.
Hell yeah, let's do it. T Phoenix, my friend, and promoter. I gotta get the promoter points. You know what I mean? You bring him on the Madcast, you say good things about him. They book you in good matches. So T Phoenix, I'm gonna kick it off with wrestling. What's it all about for you, my friend? Like, how did it all start? Did you get into it when you were a child?
Yeah, of course. Actually, I started a fan just like anybody else. WrestleMania 7 was the first actual show I saw, and
You were there live?
No. No, I didn't make the trip to Los Angeles that year. But I was actually taped for us. A friend of the family gave us the tape, and I was just instantly drawn right in.
That means black box, I believe, is what you're saying.
The black box actually was a gift from my uncle several years later, and that helped, I guess you could say, spread the disease of liking pro wrestling.
Now, my question is, how did WWE, WWF, and WCW, how did they make any money off pay-per-views back then? Because literally everyone I knew owned a black box at one point.
Whoa! Do we still have to keep that on the low?
I don't think so. I don't think
they're not. Are they still looking out for that?
I think we're in the clear now. It's like you get like 7 years.
I had like 4 of them, one in each room. Yeah.
That's because you know why running those shifty businesses back in the day, Mac.
What are you saying? Recording matches? What are you saying?
I'm not saying anything.
I would have actually expected him more on the adult network than the wrestling network.
Oh, believe me, he had those tapes too. He had stockpiled, wrestling in one closet, porn the other one. So
the Mac news is over. Right?
I'm sorry. So you got into it. You said WrestleMania 7 is when you get into it as a fan.
Yeah, instant Hogan fan. That may hurt a few people. Probably.
I was a Hulkamaniac. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know how JT would feel about that.
Yeah.
A few other people.
He was a Warrior guy, right? Is it always split?
Everybody goes Macho Man. That's what I hear. Macho Man.
He was a macho.
Don't get me wrong.
Definitely.
I loved me some Macho Man, but I wasn't rocking Macho Man bandanas. I had that Hulkamania bandana. You know. Oh yes. So back then, is that like when you think of good wrestling? Is that what you look back to? Is that era?
Yeah, to some degree.
Yeah.
Actually, not to some degree, yeah.
To most degrees, right?
Most degrees, yeah. The Attitude Era was the Attitude Era. Everybody speaks highly of that, but I go back and watch some of that stuff. I'm like, maybe this wasn't as great as we remember.
Yeah, it's like that D'Lo Brown match wasn't too good.
Right. I could pass.
No,
on
I like D'Lo too. He's not bad. I'm just throwing somebody random out there.
The Godwins, like the Headbangers. That we like that stuff. Have I changed that much?
Yeah. So now, what trend? When do you start getting into the idea of maybe you want to wrestle? Or I'm assuming that it started with you wrestling.
you have a brother like I do, and
starts there, right?
It starts there. Hey, I saw this. Let me try this on you, and throwing each other. And actually, we shared a room, so one bed on one side, one bed on the other, and it's like we were coming off the top rope onto each other's beds before breaking shit. And we lived on the second floor. And you can imagine how much our landlord liked that at the time. She would have her broom and actually poke at the ceiling, getting us to stop.
Yeah.
So we took it outside, and then we just got filthy, rolling around the grass and killing each other. We'd wrestle in a swimming pool, anything, kids.
Yeah.
My kids do it now. It's
just natural.
Getting a taste of my own medicine now. Yeah.
Just put a couple boys in a room together. They're gonna end up grappling.
Exactly. Tear some shit up and break shit.
So it's you and your brother. You guys are wrestling around in the backyard having fun. When do you start your own backyard promotion?
I don't even think it was a promotion per se. It was just two kids beating the shit out of each other. We brought other friends back into it. It wasn't until like we were maybe 15 or 16 that we gave it a company name, and we had our own championships rather than making WWF championship, WCW championship, United States championship, all that back and forth. We finally named it and filmed it. It was like 15 or 16 years old, out in the backyard, mattresses, the whole deal. I don't mind admitting it.
What was it called?
Well, it was called ETW. Oddly enough, I believe they ran as recent as last year a company named Extremely Talented Wrestling in Connecticut, which was coincidentally the same name as what
you guys were doing it back then. So you just on the ground, straight bumping on the grass and all that. It was a back patio where it was like AstroTurf on top of concrete. Yeah.
So we put.
That's not safe, dude.
No, we put mattresses, but sometimes you miss the mattress.
Yeah,
that happens sometimes. Believe it or not.
Oh yeah, you hit the ground real hard. And, everybody's got this issue with the backyard wrestling stigma, but 75% of the guys you meet have done it. Everybody did it. It's just kind of fun. And when you were a kid, like what? I don't know.
They take life and wrestling too seriously, and I know you should take it serious if you want to make your way to the top, and the top is WWE. But let's face it, it's like winning the lottery. It really is, and you're taking it too seriously, and you're not having fun, and that's where I come in, because I'm all about having the fun. I was going to get into this later on, but we were talking about
it's a free for all here on the Mackcast.
Yeah, we were talking about before we started. Like it's almost like WWE is trying to eliminate indie wrestling. They've got their performance center, so if they have the state of the art building where they're molding wrestlers, teaching them from the ground up, why are they going to bring in indie guys where they have to learn to work the WWE style? It's going to take more work to retrain somebody and break their bad habits. They've got an assembly line that they have a building where they are producing professional wrestlers. The indies will be not needed. So unless your ass is there at the performance center, don't tell me you're trying to be a professional wrestler.
Now, do you think Vince right now is scooping up all the indie talent he can, getting them under contract? That way, once the performance center gets underway, there's nobody else on the indies.
He could very well be. I'm not in his head, but he could very well be buying his time. None of those guys are ready yet.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, guys like Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards, that's a feather in your cap to have.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's certainly plenty to be learned from them, and they can be molded to be just like Daniel Bryan, a huge star, easily. They could set the tag team division on fire and totally put it back on the map where it needs to be.
And tag team wrestling has been weak.
It hurts my heart, and I know it does for you guys too.
For a long time now, man. Like every once in a while, you'll see that they start doing a little push. They try to do something with some tag stuff, but it just ends up fizzling out. They just don't. There's no blow offs to the storylines, and I mean, like I don't dig the Epico and Primo deal.
Not at all.
The Olay and all that nonsense with the. Like, look, I laugh when that bull comes out. That shit's ridiculous the first time I seen it. I don't laugh in a good way, though. You know what I mean? I'm laughing because, like, come on,
oh, that's
man.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, why? How could they do that for the poor guy?
But Primo and Epico are having these banger matches with, like, the Usos on the road. You know what I mean? Like, their tag division right now is probably as stacked as it's been in a few years, I'd say. With talent. I don't know if they're getting the exposure they should.
No, definitely not. And with 3 hours, you'd think they would get some more exposure.
You're gonna have 4 Divas matches, man. It's gonna be 4 of them.
You gotta get that in.
So
is that the E network they're on?
The Total Divas. Look, man, It's messed up to say, but Scott Levesque got me into Total Divas, man.
I watched one episode. I was disgusted. I was disgusted because I know people who act like that, and it drives me crazy.
To watch them, yes.
I know women that act like that, and it makes me just want to punch the TV screen.
Like,
I got a 50-inch TV. I'm not trying to do that.
That's hilarious. So, speaking of women's wrestling, like we were just talking about, there's only like one female on the RWA roster.
And she's got bigger balls than most of us.
A lot of the dudes, man. She does some crazy stuff. What are your feelings on on women's wrestling?
It depends on the women's wrestling that you're looking at. WWE, it's a joke. But then you've got, and forgive me, I don't know all their names, but Candice LeRae,
Yeah.
JT wrestled a bunch of them for the tournament for tomorrow.
Right.
Those girls can work. He put me onto that. I checked it out, and yeah,
they're going at it hard.
Yeah, they're going at it hard.
Yeah.
So that I approve of. Not, hey, let's play dress up and pretend to be wrestlers. I'm not gonna stereotype women's wrestling because there's obviously few and far between where there's quality out there.
Right. Yeah.
So the ones that actually give a shit, yeah, I'll get behind that.
You're down with the female wrestling?
And that's why Amanda Fox works out. She's in there with the boys. She gets hurt. She keeps going, and she puts on a hell of a show and has quite a following. A lot of people like to just hate on all of women's wrestling and
Right,
say, get her out of here.
Yeah.
But no, there's little girls that look up to her. It sounds crazy, but it's true.
Now,
And
is it that no other females have tried to join RWA or?
well, I mean, there's options as far as booking a Nikki Valentine or things
Right,
like
right,
that.
yeah.
But as far as molding and crafting
Yeah, I meant like
our own
kind of
talent,
homegrown kind of deal.
there are a few girls actually participating in the
Trainings, right?
trainings.
We'll get into all that too.
So the potential is there. They
Yeah.
just have to go through the motions to make it happen.
Now, are we going to see like a women's division in RWA, or is it just going to be kind of the same deal? The chicks work with the dudes.
The girls that are there now would prefer to work with the dudes.
Yeah,
And
because it's how they're being brought in. I mean,
Yeah.
they're training with
They are.
mostly guys. You know what I mean? Everybody they're bumping with a lot of dudes. So and when I say chicks, I don't mean to offend any ladies out there. That's my nice way of saying it. I don't know what.
Well, Mack totally approves in intergender wrestling, so
I know you do.
you get me in there with a few ladies, it's going down. So
and by going down, he doesn't mean the wrestling.
No,
match.
no, Mac, you gotta slow down on that wine, buddy. It's getting wild already. He's a crazed man. Oh, I'm sorry. So, how do we go from wrestling on the ground to like a ring back there?
My mother, she said we were backyard wrestling in the sand, and she's like, you cannot let this be your legacy.
Yeah.
And that's actually where the name Legacy comes from. That's why it's the premier event of the year for
Oh,
RWA.
that's awesome, dude. I did not know that.
So, yeah, she said this cannot be your legacy. So we rented a ring, put it in my backyard. We got that ring from what is now Atlantic Pro Wrestling from Derek Andrews,
Yeah.
Derek Mitchell, whichever he is referring to himself as now.
One of those Derek guys.
One of those Dereks. We rented his ring for the cost of $700, and I probably got ripped off. He was coming from Haverhill to North Providence. It's a 2-hour trip.
Yeah, it's
I know U-Haul likes to fuck you with the miles.
Right.
But $700?
Little high.
Little high.
probably a few guys a little closer to home you could have contacted, but I'm sure you didn't realize that back then.
Originally I contacted what was before Show Pro New England Promotions with Angel the Icon or whatever he is now, and I was trying to get theirs. It was what was it? July 1st? I don't know. It was like 2007. And they had just used the ring the day before, and it was actually Vinny Marcellia and Angel sharing the email, and I talked to both of them without realizing it, and one was like, yeah, sure, no problem.
That happens with me and Mack all the time. I just want to say that. People talk to us online. Sometimes I jump into his conversation and add stuff. I just wanted to throw that out.
All right, good to know. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, you never really know which one of us you're talking to.
So it's Angel saying, yeah, and then Vinny writes back saying a bunch of us ACW guys are going down to Benoit's funeral because not Benoit. Was it Benoit? Yeah, it was Benoit. Benoit's funeral, 2007.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Summer 2007,
Yeah.
around that. And he's like, no, we can't do it. So I'm scrambling at the last minute. So $700.
Wait, going to Benoit's funeral?
Yeah,
Really?
that's what I was told. Was it a bunch of shit? Maybe. I don't know.
That's just strange. I'm sorry, continue.
So I found Derek Mitchell at the last minute. It was $700. I was desperate. He had a ring. The rest is history. We did a show that was far too long.
Yeah.
Like we had a wrestling ring. We're gonna wrestle 3 or 4 matches apiece.
Now, who's like there? Who was there? That
let's see. Who was there? I got one. Julian Starr was there.
Okay.
That may seem odd, but he was working with them, and it was Rylan Renoir at the time, but he was there in my backyard. Of course, Tommy Trainwreck, Devin Blaze, Jason Devine, Mike Montero. They probably all hate me for saying that, but
nah. F them.
Sorry. Let's see. You got like Irish Warrior, who's still with us till this day.
Yep.
Tom Billington, who's still with us. I'm going to forget someone, and they're going to be pissed. I don't know. J.P. Hansen, of course. We started it together. Man. Paul Sands. Is he?
But the pro wrestling's best unkept secret, Paul Sands. I love you, Paul. Paul's little known Monster Mack fun fact. When our computer crashed and we lost the editing program, Paul Sands found it and got us back for us again. That way I could finish the Mack-umentary. So that we could.
So he does have some redeeming qualities.
Oh yeah, there's some. Yeah, he did A-okay, I'd say. So there's always Monster Mack love for Paul Sands.
Paul Sands.
Some
anytime
speculate.
you can.
My apologies, Mr. Phoenix.
Anytime you can pirate software.
Whoa! I didn't say pirate. He found it like in his house in a box. I lost the box.
I'm sorry.
You're throwing that pirate word around way too loosely, sir.
But some also speculate that he might have joined the Monster Mack training school, and he may be a trainee.
Oh,
that's purely speculation at this point, though.
Why wasn't that in Mac News?
Okay, whoa, we're gonna keep that on the low, man. The people don't want their identities.
Some speculate, not me. I don't speculate. It's not true.
Is that TMZ that's got that story?
Yeah, I believe. So, you run the show in your yard. And I'm assuming that you're running the whole deal, like you said.
Yep. Everybody's there asking, can I be in this match? Can I be in that match? I'm running the whole deal. It probably lasted, I don't know, 8 hours. I think the show was 8 hours long.
Jesus Christ. So it was just like, come to my house. We're wrestling today.
Yeah, pretty much. Come one, come all. We'll figure it out when we get there. And we just had so much fun doing it. We said, I didn't realize we can buy one of these things, but you want to buy one of these things?
Yeah, the cost that it would for 4 or 5 rentals from Derek is no, we'll just buy a ring.
Yeah, if I had taken that $700 to buy a ring, I would have had a pretty good down payment.
Yeah,
but we financed it, and I got the loan, and we bought the ring, and it was delivered by September. We wrestled from September to November 28th, freezing our asses off. I've got this lasting image of Tommy Trainwreck shirtless in my backyard in the middle of winter almost. It will never leave my head. It's just embedded.
It's just one of those things that's there forever.
It's there forever, along with a couple other things I'd like to get rid of, but that's a different story.
So how long do you guys do the backyard deal?
We did the backyard deal until... it was like 2008 we started having problems with the neighbors bitching and complaining. Go figure. I mean, who wouldn't love pro wrestling right next door
in their neighborhood? I mean, if I came out of my house and see somebody doing wrestling in the backyard, I would love it. But
I'm never leaving. This is home.
But I'm not a crazy old lady or whatever.
And that's what we were behind us, beside us, in front of us. All old people. They weren't trying to hear it, and we may have yelled at the neighbor about their dog getting loose, and that may have pissed them off and started a chain reaction.
Yeah, that eventually led to...
But his dog shouldn't have got loose.
You guys were on the news? You guys were in the newspaper?
It did wonders for the website, too.
How did that all come about? What was the deal? They came to you saying, hey, you guys can't do this? Or...
Yeah, the town made up some bullshit about not having an entertainment license. And we went through the process of trying to get an entertainment license, and they said, well, you don't need an entertainment license. Oh, so we can wrestle? No, you can't wrestle. all these people hate it. It's a nuisance. So I don't even remember that it was like a zoning violation or something like that. So we couldn't do it. And the hunt was on to find a building and move inside from there.
And that eventually led to the Bump Factory, right?
Yes, the Bump Factory, which.
Oh, we didn't even get into it before the Bump Factory. When you guys, were you saying it was too cold, or
that too.
You guys would run shows at the Blackheart training facility, not the one that he has now, but
the one that was actually in Central Falls for a little while, in the U-Haul building.
Yeah,
with holes on the floor, you could see down to the lockers behind downstairs, and it was just atrocious.
How did that come about? How did you end up hooking up with Blackheart?
I believe the wonders of MySpace. Somebody had reposted something about wrestling at wrestling tryouts or something for Blackheart, and I'm like, oh, there's a place here. I wonder if they do rentals. Sure enough, they did. And we found out more and more people that we knew were actually renting from them, and kind of networked and got in touch with them that way.
And what was your first impression of Chris Blackheart?
I didn't know any better. I thought he was a okay guy.
Yeah. I think he's an awesome guy, personally.
He has his redeeming qualities. I don't know that he cares for me too much at times, so I'm just kind of a little standoffish with him, I guess you could say. He obviously takes his wrestling very seriously. He laid the law down on us a couple times. We got it. He kind of built. He I don't want to say beat some respect into us, but it was our first learning experience, I guess you could say, dealing with somebody not backyard. So that's my opinion of Blackheart's upon first meeting him.
So how did the first was it the Bump Factory at first?
Yes.
How did the Bump Factory come about, your first building?
I was looking religiously on Craigslist for the longest time, trying to find any place, and it was actually the town of North Providence that said, why don't you just take this to a warehouse? Well, and that's a great idea, thanks. So I started looking, and luckily enough, I found this building, which at the time I didn't know was the Slam Tech building, or before it, yeah. Bob had moved out or whatever, and it was available, and the guy was like, well, there's been wrestling here before. It's $800 a month, or $850 at the time, I think. Something like that, $850 plus electricity. And we just pool our money together each month, and we had a place to do what we loved. It wasn't great by any means, but it was a home.
Now, gee, that's pretty high, though. I mean, the first Bump Factory was pretty big, though.
It had a lot of unusable space because the ceiling dipped down a little.
Right, yeah.
It would leak in certain spots, but it was big enough. It served its purpose.
If you actually watch in the Mackumentary DVD, there's some shots of like training school footage and stuff, and that was all shot. Like of the trainees, that was all shot at the Bump Factory.
Yeah, that was the day Eric Dillon big leagued me, and so did
Eric Dillon,
and so did Scott Levesque. That's okay.
Scotty Jive went up and said hi though.
Scotty Jive actually worked in the backyard with us way before that.
Really? See, I didn't even know that.
That was Cruz's doing.
Yeah, that sounds like something that Chris Cruz would do, because him and Jive for a little while there with the dastardly duo, I'd say, of our friendship. They were always up to no good.
Those two, I would have never guessed.
Yeah, you can't. No way. So, I think that was probably one of the first times that we met.
Yes.
I don't even know how, like...
How did we?
Did I know?
No, wait.
You
knew of the building because some other guy who rented the building booked you guys.
Okay.
And I think you never actually wrestled.
Yeah, we
because somebody got called into work.
That's probably, yeah.
Well, that's what the story was. You were like, I'm not working with these guys.
Did we show up to the building?
Yeah, you did.
I have slight memory of that. I can't confirm whether or not it was a bullshit story.
It may have been. I'm not gonna lie. I do. Oh man. For some reason, I thought that was after. I thought it was like maybe. Was it APW? Who was running there?
There was something called APW.
But I'm not sure if that was it.
It was NAW.
NAW, okay.
A guy named Connor.
Yeah, Connor Morgan?
Yes.
Morgan, yeah, something like that. I know he randomly, I'll see him on Facebook post, like, I think I'm going to start a promotion again.
Yeah.
See that a lot. A lot of guys are thinking about starting to come back. Steve Savage gets the urge every once in a while.
Oh, my God. Steve Savage, if you're listening to me, please, please never book a wrestling show. Try to book a wrestling show ever again. Please, for the love of God or whatever it is you believe in. Never.
But if you do, Steve Savage, and you're listening to me, make sure your Monster Mack's on that card.
Yeah. if you happen to, well, we'll take your money.
Yeah. I think the last show he did was that one that got shut down by the police.
Yeah, he started probably a year or two ago, and that fizzled out quickly again. He would spend, and then at the end of the night, nobody came to the show and nobody paid. The gate was poor, and he had to go into somebody else's pockets because he didn't have a pot to piss in.
The first time we worked for Steve Savage, we didn't know what we were getting into.
Nobody does. And
we show up, and it's like in a church or something weird.
Yeah, I was there.
Were you in the Battle Royal?
No.
You were one of the six people in the crowd?
No, I was actually wrestling J.P. Hansen at the time.
Okay.
No, it was a nice building, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I tried to get in there
Everything
again.
was set up all nice, but I believe the turnout was one. I believe that was the number.
I thought one paid because I'm pretty sure there was that crowd of people that followed Vinny around everywhere. When I say crowd, there may have been 3 people.
Right.
But I don't know if they paid. He may have got them in for free, just so somebody would witness it.
I remember there's no one. Oh, man, it was awful.
And the ropes were terrible, right?
Yeah, they were flopped. The ring was broke or something weird.
I spent the better part of my afternoon trying to tighten those ropes, and it couldn't be.
It was not happening.
It was not meant to be that night.
That night, actually, I was eliminated by referee Trevor. I'm not referee Trevor. It was Dr. T, which is our friend, referee Trevor. He eliminated me in the Battle Royal, dressed in doctor, like he was wearing like a doctor's coat. Yeah, stethoscope. It was the only time he's ever had a match.
And you know what? If I remember correctly, LeMay had a part to do with that show too. He was like booking some of the
matches. He booked. He was in like 3 matches that night.
So he too can take credit for that atrocity.
There's a lot of atrocities that LeMay can take credit for. I mentioned this before the podcast that I'm going to try to not crap on LeMay as much on the podcast. But what I'm thinking is hopefully he listens and he'll eventually get the idea. Like, hey, maybe I'll go to some training at one point or another, just one time, maybe in my life. That's all. That's all I ask for.
I happen to know a place.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a place. I think it's Providence, right?
Providence, yeah, I've heard of that place. You know what? It would. You know what it would take to get him there? Swallowing his pride.
Yeah, and I don't think he wants to do that.
Nope.
He had a stint in RWA, right?
A match.
Oh, just one.
One.
And how did that? What happened after that?
Who
did he work? Who did he work?
Oh, wow. It was actually Damian Black and Chris Dozer against the man known as Rock Paint and Brian
Rock
Smith.
Squiggly line paint?
Yeah, the squiggly line. I forgot that. I forgot his
You can't forget the squiggly, his middle name. So they were, what was it? Natural Born Killers or something, right?
Yeah, it was some crazy dynamic where they were baby faces that were heels.
Right. That sounds like the franchise Brian side.
And then after being heels in the ring, gets out and proposes to a girl with the ultimate babyface move of the year. And then fast forward, they never get married. They break up, impregnate somebody, and then they get back together again.
Which is always good.
Always.
I love the wrestling proposal.
Yeah.
That always works out.
Even when it's real. That shit just does not work out. So LeMay has that one match, and you, at that point, say, like, never again, or?
You know, call me stupid, because I consider calling myself stupid, but I would have actually continued to use them.
Right.
I don't claim that any of us are the best wrestlers, but I think we have the ability to entertain people in our own way, and I can certainly try to find the good in somebody and hide the faults.
Right.
And work with them and help them along. So he could have certainly had a position in the company, but I remember him telling me that RWA has a lot of great talent, and he would rather be the big fish in the small pond.
Did he use that phrase?
He used that phrase, and if he wants to come on here and dispute
Hey,
it,
it's the Rhode Island world champion you're talking to, or whatever that company's name is.
oh, the big gold belt, he beat Cena. You know?
So,
So, Trainee, I'm going to have to cut you off because the franchise is taking up too much time in the Mackcast. No, I'm sorry, Trainee, but I'm afraid the ratings are just going to drop if the longer we keep talking about them.
Down the toilet
So we got to
right
get
now.
off that subject.
Can we talk about rock paint then?
No, what kind of rating? What do you want the ratings to go for this Mackcast?
I don't think it's fair to talk about somebody who served our country, may or may not have served our country.
Nobody knows for sure.
I have no idea what you're talking about. We just don't have time for that.
Okay, so
It's actually rug paint
rug paint, yeah.
because he lies like a rug.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Did you ever see the Facebook picture where he got a black eye from his MMA fight in New York when MMA is illegal in New York?
MMA is illegal in New York?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Damn, I knew that.
Yeah, he didn't apparently. Oh man. Oh, so we're at Bump Factory #1.
Yes.
You guys are doing it like for yourselves kind of thing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
You guys are filming it, and I know you're throwing the stuff online and all that, but
really,
it's just
it was
the boys in front of the boys.
It was Beyond Wrestling before Beyond Wrestling.
Right, and when I heard the Beyond Wrestling concept, I was like, oh, I've already seen that. It's RWA.
Oh, well, you heard it here first. I didn't say it. I mean, I take nothing away from them. I am a fan of Beyond Wrestling. I really am. I'm not just saying that because I don't want to get in hot water with somebody. I went to the first show. I went to the second show for half of it. Something came up. But I'm going to go as often as I can because I enjoy it.
I went to the Beyond show when they ran in Bridgewater. They brought in the SSB with Chris Pyro and Tommy Trainwreck. We all just kind of sat in the crowd, chilled around. You know, I enjoy the Beyond stuff, but when I heard that concept of, like, because, I mean, I've known Bloodstone for a while, and when I heard he was going out to, I think it was Ohio, to do those things, like when I first heard that, I was like, I'm like, you could just go. I know some guys around here that can do that for him. You know what I mean? Like, but so you guys are doing it just for yourselves, kind of thing.
Just for us, for our own entertainment. There was a lot of inside jokes, things that made us laugh, and it wasn't there for anybody else. I mean, it went on YouTube just so it was easy for everybody to watch. Like, in
so
the
you
group
got
or whatever.
You didn't have to all meet up and just watch it on one TV.
Exactly.
When does the idea of, well, even before that, we'll get into, what was some of your favorite things that happened when you guys, before you were doing like live shows and all that stuff? Some of your favorite RWA memories?
Just a group of guys with no ego and just getting along and having a good time. You know, there was an instance like when the ring broke and they were working on it. We had it stripped down to just the steel. And they were just playing music, and it was a line of people, like a who's who of indie wrestling now, just singing like New Kids on the Block or things like that. It was actually a lot of the moments outside of the ring that I look back on, not to take away from what happened in the ring, but there was
just the camaraderie.
That's the camaraderie. That's where it was all started. You know, that's what made us what we are today and how everybody's so close. That's why I like about Beyond Wrestling. The people working the company actually believe in the company. It's not, oh, I got to go here and I'll make $10 and, oh, I hate my life. I'm just doing it because I like wrestling, but they really don't like what they're doing once they get there. Beyond Wrestling, you can see people actually they feel for that. They believe in it. Like Steen puts it over on the Stone Cold podcast, from what I understand. So that's pretty big. I like
anytime
that.
I talk to the hoods about Beyond Wrestling, their like eyes light up, and they're always like, when we had them on the Mackcast, they talk some, Beyond Wrestling. That was like their number one promotion. They were saying that they enjoy working for. But personally, my number one promotion I enjoy working for is the RWA, because you guys just to have a great time. Like I remember one moment you're talking about having a great time. We did the match and whatever, and that was cool. And like at the end, you guys just started playing some awesome dance music, and everyone, like all the guys, rushed the ring, and they were all just dancing. I was on the ropes doing the ass shake and stuff. I was having an awesome time, and so anytime you guys get together, it's always a fun time at the
absolutely.
RWA.
Absolutely. It's a good chance to leave our problems behind us. Sometimes we lose track of that, but it's
right. Occasionally, some real life drama gets
mixed
in with pro wrestling nonsense, but it happens everywhere, man. It's not
right.
So, when do you guys like you mentioned, it's like a who's who of indie wrestling now. For guys who had at one point a lot of bad stigma behind them about being quote unquote backyard, you guys have pumped out some names that work up and down New England.
Imagine that. Yeah, I know.
Can you rattle off some of them for me if you don't mind?
JT Dunn, obviously, first comes to mind. Jason Devine, Mike Montero, Chris Cruz, Davey Cash. Well, I can't take credit for Davey Cash, but like Devin Blaze and Tommy Trainwreck.
Yep.
I mean, they've all done some stuff. And they got their start with us, and I'm not taking credit for what they've accomplished. I'm just saying they got the opportunity to practice their craft and learn their craft with us and use it other places. And I'm happy to have played a small part in that. Do I want the credit? No, but I'm just happy for them.
Right, of course.
I'm happy to say that they started with me. And they got chances to work other places, but I don't think they were used to their full potential, and they were just rag dolls or whatever.
Yeah. But eventually, like you said, a lot of these guys have worked for many promotions in this area, and I don't know, man. Like you were saying earlier, RWA at this point now, I mean, you guys use the Hoods on the regular, the Minutemen, Jose Perez a bunch of times, Triplicious, like.
Triplicious found a new home.
Yeah, Trips is a good dude. We're gonna have Trips on here too sometime soon.
Do it.
Oh, I'm totally down for that.
You're down with some Trips. Now, when did you guys like? I don't know if you remember this, but I remember this. I knew Mike Montero and all those dudes because Chris Cruz. We knew Chris Cruz from ACW, which again was kind of like along the same lines of the RWA, where there's like a lot of guys who may not have had all the training that they needed at the time, but
a lot of them came off like they were all that at the time.
Oh, I'm sure those everybody was full of shit back then.
There was some deep-rooted hatred there
between ACW and RWA.
Because and I want to preface this by saying myself and David Baker
I'm talking even earlier ACW than that. Yeah, I'm talking like Tough Daddy. And,
okay. See, I'm not familiar with that, but I know around the 2007 era that the Bakers weren't exactly our best friends.
I'm glad the old ACW roster starts with Tough Daddy.
Of course it does. Do you know Tough Daddy?
I know he's got some sort of vendetta for Devin Blaze.
That's new heat.
Yeah. So like back then ACW was kind of that same thing. So when Craig went to work for you guys and we weren't really wrestling anymore or whatever, I met Mike Montero and I met like Zach Fantastic, a lot of those dudes.
Fuck him.
And I know there's heat now, but Mike Montero would always say like, you guys gonna hit up RWA, I think your gimmicks would fit right in. And I emailed you one time, and you said something to the nature of like, "Sorry, man, like we don't use indie guys here."
I did say that.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
That was. I don't know if that was the best idea, but
at that time, I remember even thinking like, I don't really wrestle. I'm like, I wrestle like one place, I guess. That's indie, but not really.
That was probably my lack of knowledge about who was working where.
Yeah.
And, I think for a while I had this vision that some guys were higher up than they actually were.
Yeah.
I thought LeMay was some sort of superstar the way he
sells
himself.
it.
Yeah. I wasn't really looking him up to see that he was actually what he is.
So how do you go from we don't book indie guys to now it's I don't want to say half your roster, but there's a good chunk of your roster works the indies.
And it's really a combination of people who have established themselves on the indies and other people who have started RWA and
moved on to the indies.
Yeah, so it's kind of blending. There's a very big gray area there, but really it starts with guys like Montero saying, "Hey, why don't you book so-and-so? Hey, why don't you book so-and-so?" And I do, because I like to make other people happy.
Right.
If they're speaking highly of you, then I'll give it a shot, because ultimately everybody else's happiness, it means a lot to make this successful.
Right. Yeah, you want everybody to have a good time.
So in a case like even you guys, it's like, all right, bring them in. And when we meet, hit it off well.
We got along right away. Right. Once we actually got to meet each other.
And even the same, I was very very standoffish about Davey Cash, and I cannot believe to this day how well me, Davey, and Pyro all get along.
Right.
It's
a perfect fit for them.
Even after hours, after the show, hanging out with them, it's a fit.
You get along way more than you thought you would.
Way more.
Yeah. See, like I remember I met Pyro way like I was doing ring crew just because I wanted to touch a wrestling ring young, and he's like filming shows and stuff. So I've known Pyro forever, and back then we were always like cool, but it's not until I got to hang out with him more, like doing shows around here, working on WA, that we've become as close as we have with the Hoods and Pyro and stuff.
You're around the same age as Pyro, right?
Yeah, well, he's a little bit older.
A little bit? I see.
Right around the same height, too.
Yeah, I'm a little bit taller. He's a little bit older. It's not very nice, T.
Sorry.
It's okay. I know. I know. I'm short.
Not Scotty Slade short, but
yeah,
short.
But short nonetheless. Speaking of Scotty Slade, he showed up to a random.
I know.
Devil's Night, right?
I believe it was Devil's Night. He's actually very friendly with Rob Massey.
Okay.
I believe they went to college together.
Okay.
And he was talking to another guest of our show too, and he wanted to come down, check it out, see what it was all about. I guess he had some nice words in a personal message on Facebook.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah,
I'm sure you've been I've seen you post a couple times of things in that nature. How do you feel going from that group, like I was saying before, that had that bad stigma on like the Burning Hammer or the internet?
I feel like this still is a bad stigma, and we're winning more people over more and more,
right,
even day by day.
Right.
But there's some people that have absolutely no idea what they're talking about.
Just from hearing
it. The first time meeting shooter Scott Ebsen, he's like, I had heard some things, but looking around, no, none of them are true.
Right. And Scotty's become big fans of the RWA.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's always down to
supporter.
film like for the charity shows and all that stuff.
He does a great job too, and how could I say no?
Right.
First time really interacting with Steve Ricard was Legacy 5 because we were using his steel cage, and he was surprised at the turnout. Meanwhile, it's like, okay, it's like 200 plus people. We always do this. You didn't know this? He's like, you always draw like this? Yeah. See, he didn't know. He just goes by what he hears, and I don't know that he said or hasn't said anything, but he obviously was of the opinion that it wasn't what he saw.
But yeah, it wasn't what he was expecting.
And he said I had a good match too, and he enjoyed it. So fucking book me, Ricard.
You hear that, Ricard? I know he listens too. Hey, what's up, Steve?
Steve, I'm fucking funny. You'll love me.
So, and you were
with this great idea where you make me champion.
Yeah.
I'll beat Biff Busick in all right, 18 seconds was WrestleMania. I'll do it in 15 seconds.
Just slightly quicker.
So that's no disrespect to Biff Busick.
No. Biff is awesome.
Absolutely.
He's really started to shine, man. I think he's going to get signed.
I hope so, man. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, Biff's wicked cool too. And you were saying Ricard was surprised by the turnout of the live shows. When did the live shows start?
The first one was October of 2009. It was the same year we moved into the Bump Factory. So we moved in at.
So it was almost right away.
Almost right away, like maybe 6-7 months later.
But you guys got a building, and then it was like, you know what we should do.
I don't even know if it's like, okay, we need to move this quick. I think the opportunity was presented to us to do Raynone's Gym in Johnston.
Yep. And
it cost an arm and a leg, and thankfully we made it all back. But maybe we were in over our heads, but we put on a decent show, and for our first live show, we brought in 125, right around 120. Maybe it was 127. I don't know.
Now, when you first get the Bump Factory, how often are you running shows?
From the very time we started, we did once every 2 weeks. It was always on a Sunday afternoon. Doing a Saturday was unheard of. And, I think we wised up and were like, wait a minute, if we do this on a Saturday, we get Sunday to rest before we go back to work. Let's do that.
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea.
I'd say so.
And you were bringing in fans at that time?
It was more like friends and family. And even with friends and family, it was a good turnout and a lot of crowd participation. Even if it was some of the boys, it made for a fun atmosphere.
How did you guys start working with like charities and stuff? Was that right away with the live show? Or?
Well, it was supposed to be for a charity, but like I said, we barely made our money back.
Yeah,
so I felt bad about that. But a couple of working with Ticker Sports Bar and Grill, whatever you call it, they had expressed the idea of doing charities, and really from the get-go, we wanted professional wrestling in general had just burned so many bridges, even like as far as running high school gyms or whatever.
Oh yeah.
We wanted to have a
much more difficult than back in the 90s.
Right. Exactly.
Everybody was running high school gyms back then. Now it's barely ever.
And then at the height of the hardcore era, they did some stupid shit, and now people just have that permanent reminder.
Like you're gonna bleed all over the place and throw shit
around. Yeah, it's nothing like that now. So we wanted to restore some of the good faith in people, or just want them to realize that wrestling isn't all bad. So let's do charities, and just put some sort of positive vibe out there.
I remember there was a point when we had stopped wrestling, and we wanted to promote a show. And this wasn't the idea like Wrestling McAuliffe Fest idea. This was like, we're gonna put on a live wrestling show. It was Dynamite Pro Wrestling or something weird like that.
Does it have something to do with that grill that he's talking about, the Ticker's Grill? I remember I have some weird memory of checking out some parking lot in the back of a bar and grill place.
Not Ticker's. That was something else though.
But you do remember that?
Right. Yeah, that was way after. I'm talking even before that. Like we were going to. Me, you, and Chad Hart were going to like VFW halls and Knights of Columbus halls and having meetings with people and stuff. So we could never like get a building locked down to promote the show. But like I can only imagine at that time, like we had no idea what the hell we were doing. How was it promoting your first show? Like live show? You said you drew 125, so obviously you guys did well, but
it's never really a case of hanging flyers and stuff, although we did do that. I can't say how many people came because of the flyers and how many because of word of mouth or whatever, but it's always been, and I hate to be giving away company secrets, but I don't think this one's going to really ruin us. It's always been because of a giant network that we are.
Right.
One person tells one person who tells another, and that's how the seats are filled. It's people like Beyond. They feel strongly about it, and they want other people to support it. And then you include the charity, and they help spread the word.
Yep.
That goes the extra mile too. But at the first one, it was mostly word of mouth.
Now, you were saying like you guys have a pretty big network. You actually have fans from like around the world who deal with like a lot of your internet stuff. I know Devin Blaze was getting calls from a guy named like Gustav or something.
Yeah, I put him in contact with that guy who was like I think he was from Spain.
Yeah,
he told me we all go into the gym, I guess it was in their school, and watch RWA and have grown to like Devin Blaze. And he's like, I'd love to email him. So I said, I think I either text or MySpace or Facebook Blaze, and I said, some people I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy, but it tends to be like that. I've had people from Italy offer to do artwork and graphics.
Right, yeah.
But, I mean, I know you bring this up because of our good friend Christian.
Right, yep. He's, again, another guy who's, what you said, Germany, right?
He's in Germany, and we met him 2008. It was kind of random, and we had our guard up a lot, too, because we were worried about people ruining what we had going.
Right.
After the whole North Providence backyard deal, we were just like, okay, that was our first run-in with trouble. Well, now there's going to be people out there to stop us, maybe indie guys.
Right, yeah.
Indie guys with the devil. I mean,
at that time, right?
At that time, we couldn't trust anybody, But he had found our stuff. It was on Daily Motion at the time, and he fell in love with it from the word go. And started taking the pictures we had on MySpace and on our website and making DVD covers. And he posted them in the forum saying, "Hey, I made this for you guys.
Yeah, use it."
We're like, who the fuck
like,
are you?
This guy?
And
thank you.
Yeah. And it got to a point where we would send him the raw footage so he could watch it sooner rather than wait for us to edit it. And he would make he started making graphics for us to put in the video. He would help us in obtaining software to make videos.
Yeah, he would find it too in his house.
It was in a box, coincidentally.
Yeah.
And later, the the DVD covers, of course, and he has his own collection at home of like maybe the first season, all on DVD, all with artwork and everything.
Everything's all done
up real nice. And now he helps edit. He's always helping do something.
Now, why do you think it's something like RWA has fans so passionate like that? Is it because you guys have that underdog feel?
Yeah, that's if I had to say one thing, I'd say that definitely does a lot. That certainly helps. It's a very intimate setting. A lot of places I've gone to, people put on wrestling and they're like, let me get my shit in, this is what I want to do. They don't pay attention to the crowd.
Yeah.
I make it a point to interact with the crowd. Obviously, you gentlemen love interacting with the crowd. That wrestling's supposed to be fun. We're in the era of entertainment, whether you like it or not. If you're an old-fashioned type of guy and you like your old-fashioned wrestling, don't try to book shows, because I don't think that works anymore.
Right.
You have to come to grips with the fact that we're living in the era of entertainment. And what can I say? That's it.
You mentioned that whole that old school, guys have that old school mentality, and the entertainment thing they don't quite get. I think that was a problem with Blackhawk for a little while when we were first wrestling there. He couldn't figure out why we were as over as we were. Yes. And it's because, like you were saying, we interact with the fans.
Right, exactly.
We're very poppy and dancey and high fives and going through the crowd to high five people and all that.
People want that type of interaction. If Raw's coming in January, my kid wants tickets. If I get him tickets, you know where he's going to be? Upper 100s. He has no interaction with those wrestlers whatsoever.
Yeah, you're 150 feet away or whatever the deal is.
And you could scream Cena till you're
he's not hearing you.
Yeah, exactly.
Your kid's a Cena fan? Is that?
The little one recently watched the Cena DVD again, and he's on the bandwagon.
He's back on.
But Austin will forever be CM Punk.
Which is always good.
Always good.
You can't hate on the
And
Punk.
if you haven't heard, he does a killer impersonation of him.
I've heard that Gino Giovanni put it over pretty big, to tell you the truth.
Well, and he should, because I know I'm saying this because I'm his father and I'm proud, but he did a hell of a job. And he conducts himself in a very professional manner, too.
Gino put him over huge, saying he was more on time and more present in the match than, he said, more than half of the guys that he's worked with, and that's a hell of a compliment, man.
He watches it and he just absorbs it in his mind, and he mimics the mannerisms, and he's really. That if you can look at somebody and say he's got it, there's something there with him. And again, that's my kid, I know, but there's something there.
You see it.
You do. I can freely admit, and I don't think he's going to listen to this, so I'm not going to tell him about it anyway, but I can say this. Basketball, not so much.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the it. He likes basketball, but he doesn't have the it factor for basketball.
Right.
So, see, I can tell the difference. I'm not favoring him.
Now, are you your kids? You think they're gonna get into wrestling? Austin, you said most likely, right?
Austin more so. Adam, not so much. I don't know. He likes it and all, but he likes playing the babyface card. He likes his brother get the heat and gets mom for sympathy or dad for sympathy.
He's getting that sympathy.
So I don't know how well that's gonna work out into a wrestling career, and I can't even say that I even want them to do it, because as much fun as I have too, there's plenty of people that'll ruin your fun, and I don't want anybody ruining my kids' fun.
Right? Yeah, that's kind of.
Or I'd have to hurt them.
When we did the JT Dunn podcast at the Bump Factory, the Chop Shop. I'm sorry, Bump Factory is burnt in my brain forever.
Right.
Your kids were there early when you showed up, and we got in there. Your kids are hanging out, and I was talking to them, and I was just like, "This must be so normal for you guys to just come here and." Just climb all over the ring, and I wish I had that childhood,
right? And
man.
You said you were putting together rings just to touch one.
Right.
I was the same way going to Warwick Musical Theater. Every seat in there was great.
Yeah.
You're so close, you just want to touch it. And so, they're the same age I was when Warwick Musical Theater was around, and here they are jumping all over a ring.
Yeah, it's just so normal to them, like you said, running shows and all that. I want to get a little back on track here, Mack.
I'm
you haven't really been. No, it's okay. That's me, dude. You haven't really been saying much this podcast, buddy.
Well, I officially switched over to the water. Okay. I'm drinking nothing but water because I had to cut myself off from the ever so sweet French wine. But I want to ask you, T Phoenix, what is that too loud?
You're screaming, dude. You're screaming.
I like to eat the mic.
I know. Don't do that.
But I want to ask you, like, how hard is it to put a show together? And, like, when your cards finish, how do you know, like, that's it? Like,
you never know that's it. I finished the final copy and emailed it to the commentators, and right after that, something changed. Somebody couldn't get a ride. It was actually Stan Styles couldn't get a ride from Philly, and so
Stan comes all the way from Philly.
All the way from
wow.
Philly, and stuff like that happens. So it's never done until it's done. Not until the final 1, 2, 3 that I could say, okay, the card was final. It's a giant pain in the ass sometimes too, because I make it a point to book everybody who's on, quote unquote, on the RWA roster. I don't try to leave anybody off. Sometimes that makes for things maybe not, I won't say not making a whole lot of sense, but for some odd pairings. Yeah. So it's always stressful trying to coordinate with everybody, make sure who's coming, who's not coming, who was coming but isn't coming anymore, who was busy and says, hey, can I get on the show? I know it's last minute. And, of course, me being Mr. Nice Guy sometimes. Yeah, we'll do something.
Do you contact the workers personally?
I like to go through Facebook. It's my preferred method. Some people, like Pyro, doesn't have Facebook, and that irritates me, but I'll text somebody like him. So Facebook's the preferred method because I can say, tag this person, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, you're coming down.
What's your match limit on a card?
Limit? I gotta say I don't like going over 12, and I know that's gonna sound like a hell of a lot to a lot of people. But
because I've seen some indie shows where we're like talking about 15 matches here.
Right, I know.
The show ends at like 12, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. Like
the last.
What indie shows are you going?
We were actually able to get 10 matches done in 2.5 hours.
I think we were on that show, weren't we?
The last taping.
That was the last one, all right, yeah.
The last taping, you guys were busy winning tag team gold elsewhere.
It's true. I'm sorry, dude. There was a point that we would miss an RWA show, and we'd be sitting in the, I don't want to say where, his locker room. We'd be sitting in the fill in the blank, you know where it is, locker room, sitting there going like, oh, man, we should be on RWA right now. Because instead of having fun and wrestling people who give a shit, we were wrestling guys who were just like there's not even words to describe some of those surprises that we would get showing up to shows, and it's like, tonight you're wrestling a dude and a chick, have fun, and it's like and look, don't get me wrong, we're going to be wrestling a dude and the chick at the next RWA.
I see what you did there.
Don't get me wrong, different dude, different chick, and that makes a very big difference in whether or not you're going like, oh, like when we found out we were wrestling Amanda Fox and Damian Black, we would start thinking right away, like, all right, we're going to, you know what I mean, we have some ideas. And when you show up to a show and you're wrestling him and her, and you're going like, I don't even know if they know how to bump.
You gotta love that.
Yeah, and that's not exactly.
But yet, we're the backyarders.
It's like this promoter, whoever he may be, he's like taking just hobos off the street, you know, bums and hobos, homeless people, you know, and having them wrestle.
Doctors.
So,
Doctors. That's for Roger Williams University.
Wow.
Yeah, no, nobody specific though. But I heard
that.
You're
going to tell me the referees wrestle.
Occasionally, I think the referees may have gotten wild and gotten in the ring and had a match or two. And to tell you the truth, I enjoyed wrestling the referees more than some of their wrestlers.
I've actually known one of those guys for quite a while.
Matrix?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
we had some run-ins where Hanson cut a promo on him just to be funny, and we had a swear meter, and it got up around 70, I think.
Jesus Christ.
I think the kid was like 13 at the time, and here we are, almost adults.
Just yelling in his face. F you, pal.
Oh, it got worse than F you.
So, you guys run, what, like 3 live shows a year now?
I like to make it, I'd love to make it 4, but three right now. With the we do a show at State Line Campground in Connecticut.
Yep.
Well, so you can kind of count that as a 4th because even there is a hell of a turnout.
Right. Yeah.
We've done that like 3 years in a row now, and it's always a great time.
Yeah.
which is actually their tagline. It's always a great line. It's always a great time at State Line. Easy for me to say.
Yeah. I wanted.
So yeah, for a year.
So that's not bad, man. You guys. So about 3 months, you're running a live show.
It's the WWF philosophy.
Yeah.
If you're out there every month, you're gonna end up like most of these other places aren't drawing anything. We do it in front of a small studio audience. Yeah, it's some of the guys. So what? It creates for a unique atmosphere, and you guys can attest to that.
Oh, it's certainly.
We put it on YouTube and make people watch from a distance and make them hungry to see it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
Listen, man, go ahead, Mac. I'm sorry.
And I like the addition of promos too. You add a lot of promos in between your matches.
I try. That's requested a lot by our German friend Christian too. He's a fan of that, and I tend to agree. I try to make them as entertaining and as comical as possible. Some funny editing added in, but I think that breaks up the show and gives people like a quick laugh in between matches.
Along with a full commentary team as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that you don't see a lot around here. Hell, you don't see a lot of videos going up around here. And I that boggles my mind how people can do that. Not show not put your product out there. Especially on YouTube now where you can get paid.
Yeah, just offering the ads or whatever.
Me and Trina used to do commentary over our matches back in the day.
I've seen a few of those.
But I used to put myself.
I saw the bikini contest too. We got to get into that a little bit.
I used to put myself over a little too much during the commentary, so we had to cut it out.
Oh, French wine will do that to you though.
Mac's a wild man when it comes to putting himself over. It's like, look at me just beating this guy down. It's like nobody wants to hear that, dude.
I gotta chuckle out of it.
Yeah.
Bring it back. 2014.
Yeah. This is a random piece of Mac news too. It's something kind of strange that I just noticed. The Maction News Now video that we filmed with like a bunch of information. Me and you looking sexy in suits. It's got like 20,000 views out of nowhere. Like I hadn't checked in a few months, and then I seen it and it was like, what is
impressive?
Tremendous. I'll take the 20,000. And our Christmas special is up. It's running. I know it's Christmas time, folks. You want to find out how the real origins of Christmas. So you should watch Santa Mac's Christmas special.
Merry goddamn Christmas.
Yeah, you took that sacrilegious back. That went a little crazed.
I was going to drop a heavy F-bomb, but I decided against it last second.
How much wine did you drink, man?
I'm drinking nothing but water now.
Yeah, now. So, T, you guys, I think we were part of two of the 4 live shows this year.
Yeah, we got Legacy.
We did Legacy and
Thanksgiving Throwdown.
The Thanksgiving Throwdown. Now, do you want to do like a rundown of those shows? Because I know Legacy was the first one of the year. Was it Legacy the first? Dynasty was first, right?
Yes.
And how did Dynasty draw?
Man, you're making me think now. Put me on the spot. Dynasty. What was the match for Dynasty? Somebody right now sitting at their computer screen.
Yelling, yeah.
Screaming.
Damn it, T!
Answer.
How do you not remember?
How do you not know this? What was the main event for Legacy?
Legacy was
Montero and Divine.
Montero
and Divine was Dynasty. Was a decent turnout. Not one of our best. I'm not sure what we can blame on that. Blame it on me. Why not?
Yeah, it's all your fault, T.
It wasn't our best, but it was a solid card throughout. Montero and Divine killed it. And then at the end, Mike Grassa came to check on Divine. Montero challenged him to a match and ended up eating his words because the Mike Grassa era started that night.
Now, Dynasty, that wasn't in the same building as... Was it the Varnum?
Traditionally, we've done Dynasty at the Smithfield Elks Lodge.
Okay. Is there like a reason behind that?
I'd say we did our first live Dynasty there, and we've gone with
it's kind of
like Madison Square Garden for WrestleMania, I guess.
And so after Dynasty, we go to Legacy,
and that was at the Varnum.
Was at the Varnum, and that drew awesome.
They have, I believe, like 170 chairs. And people were standing because there was nowhere to sit.
And that was our first live RWA show,
right?
And
with
I was
Oddity and Tom Billington.
Yep. And I enjoyed that match. That was a fun match. Working with Len and Tom is always a good time. But I remember, like, I had heard you guys always drew well. And I went, and I was blown away. I mean, you guys have projectors set up.
We don't mess around. That's what people don't get. We don't mess around. We do it all. We have our own. The entranceway is always different. We have our own
custom
photographer.
and different. Yep.
We put a lot of thought and effort into it. And that's what a lot of people don't get.
And on Legacy, it was JT and Brian Fury.
Right.
And they tore the house down that night. I mean, it was
and it was originally supposed to be JT and Grant Akuma,
right.
but he was injured and
pinched a nerve in his elbow or his arm or something, right?
But I dare to say JT Dunn and Brian Fury more than made up for that.
It, yeah. And so after that, you guys hit the summer. How come you guys never air the campground shows?
We have in the past. This year we chose not to. Just because it was coming right off. Legacy was like the week before, and I was burnt out more than you could ever imagine. I'm like, you know what? We're just doing this for the crowd there. I'll set up a hard cam so people can watch it.
I've seen some funny, like Jason Devine dancing.
I know
with
that
all
right there
of the children.
that made me hate myself for not recording.
Yeah,
but I could probably release that.
Just the hard cam footage.
Yeah,
that
I probably
clip.
could.
Yeah,
because people would love to see that, and especially Pyro after his match going directly into the pool.
Yep, I've seen that too.
But it really just came down to, man, I'm just doing this for fun, and we're not recording it. I need a break.
Oh, Mack's got nothing to say apparently.
Left him speechless.
Oh man, and then and that led us to Thanksgiving Throwdown.
Yes, which is something I never used to. That was like the last show that we took from like a chop shop setting and made a live show. I never really. A lot of people like doing the Royal Rumble type match around here, especially around this time. And I had never done it, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna try this. And I think it went really well. A lot of people liked it. And
this year was the first live Throwdown.
Last year was
okay.
This one, I think, superseded last year by a great deal.
And Pyro won.
And Pyro won. To his credit, he started number 2 and went the distance.
The whole deal,
which was really an hour. At 90 seconds each, and then a little bit of a layover after everybody came out.
I came very close to winning that Thanksgiving Throwdown, but
you came face to face with me in that, and the video is actually going to be released this coming week. They actually started to go up as of a few days ago, but they'll be up in its entirety.
I threw some extreme chops at you.
I was just coming to say hello, and you started hitting me.
They seem to have no effect on you.
I was in the zone, brother.
But next thing you know, I turned my back. So someone dumped me out. I wasn't.
Wait a minute. Well, I may have. He had a mask just like that.
Right. And then somebody dumped me out named Stan Styles, just right over. So Thanksgiving Throwdown, again, awesome. That was headlined by the 4-way. I want to call it a ladder match, but it's different than a ladder match.
See, it was basically a King of the Mountain match, but rather than give TNA credit, we came up with the Crown Jewel match.
Yeah.
Because it's for the Triple Crown Championship, and the basis was it was a lot simpler than TNA. You didn't have to pin somebody, then get locked in a cage, and then climb a ladder.
Yeah.
You just had to climb a ladder with the belt and hang it. And those boys, they delivered. I asked them to be safe, and, well, they did what they do. Like only they can do.
And I mean, I seen some random video clips from fans that were like filming stuff from the match, because I haven't seen any of the official footage yet. But damn,
you could,
like,
to say the
holy
least.
crap, dude, those guys were going crazy. Except Tommy Trainwreck, who I seen after the match, was just kind of pimping around like, I feel great, man. I can have another match. Everybody else is all...
How did he get away like that?
He was just chilling.
The crazy thing was I had left him alone at the chop shop. A big mistake.
Yeah.
I come back, and he's got chairs set up, kind of mapping out his path of destruction of what he could potentially do during the match. And oddly enough, he's walking around like he was never touched. So I guess he was he was very successful when it takes a good planning session, I guess.
No, I didn't actually see the match, but I seen the aftermath in the locker rooms of some of the guys that were a little beat down. And but I did see a teaser online of, what was it, the pile driver on the ladder, but I didn't actually get to see the move. I just heard the audio and the freeze frame.
That's why it's a teaser. Yeah,
yeah exactly. But it looked pretty. It sounded pretty vicious.
It was tough to watch. I don't know what possesses these guys. They do it for the love. They do it for the RWA. They do it because they can do it. They do it to give the fans a show like no other, and they delivered. And they just putting your body on the line. It's crazy.
Mad props go out to you for hooking us up with a new Monster Mack Titantron video, straight Mack attack.
Well, I like to keep it fresh. I can't let it get too out of date, and it's a lot of work, but I feel it's that one of those things that sets us apart from everybody else. Where else do you go that has everybody's custom Monster Macktron or their Jason Devinetron? Everybody.
Straight up Thanksgiving Throwdown. On my number here, I was number 20-something, something in the 20s, but that was the first time I actually seen the video. I seen it online, but it was pretty awesome to see it on that Tron after the number counted down. I came in and I kicked some butt, and I did some cuddling instead because, there was intergender. Amanda Fox was in that Rumble, and I just there was some Canadian dude beating the crap out of her.
Yeah, he doesn't take to the woman folk very.
I just couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying?
What I thought was cool, it's it's the small things, man. Like when our music hit for the Battle Royal, instead of starting at our intro, because our song has like a little bit of an intro in the beginning, it kicked right into the part where we come out, and it was like, this is perfect. The music hit, we come right out. I mean, it's those little things that, like you said, separate you guys from everybody else.
And I'll give all the credit in the world to Tom Billington. He's not just in the ring; he's behind the scenes, and he'll spend countless hours just remastering songs and cutting them up. Everybody's got two files. You get the song you come out to and the song that hits midway.
Yeah, after the match is over.
Quote unquote winning theme. So he's very well prepared, and Jose Perez gives him a lot of credit for what he does, and he is really one of those unsung heroes that you don't see behind the scenes that doesn't always get a lot of credit. Yeah, and he gets picked on a lot too because when he's not doing RWA stuff, he's the laziest person in the world.
Just chilling.
You know what? He helped me out. He made Ricky Medeiros' Tron. It took him 3 weeks to get it to me.
Yeah, it was done, but just chilling at his house.
No. It wasn't done. It wasn't started. It was. I'll get to it.
Just waiting.
I'll get
to
it. Man, I'll watch some porn. I'll get to it.
A little drink.
Yeah, a little drink. Just a little.
What a fun song to make a music video to. We should have been all about that.
With the Ricky Madeira song? Yeah, it's so funny. So coming up soon, T, in a couple of weeks from now when we're recording this, is the 1 year Chop-iversary.
Yep, 1 year since we've been in the Chop Shop.
What do we got? Do you have any ideas of what the show's going to look like?
I can give you some breaking news.
Some
this exclusive news. Assuming,
right,
Davey Cash still has the Triple Crown Championship by January 4th. We're going to do the first ever live vote. I looked into this. One of those deals where you can say, cast your vote, text, blah, blah, blah.
Right, yeah.
Whatever. Looked into it. Come to find out, it's free.
Free,
it's for me. So we're going to have the people in attendance that night do a live vote to see who faces Davey Cash for the Triple Crown Championship.
I like that.
They'll have 3 choices. And I'm trying to stick with the people who have been busting their ass and trying to make their way up the ladder. Not the typical person, not a JT Dunn, not a Mike Montero, not a Jason Devine, but I'm talking like somebody like Jack Connor, who's been busting his
that was
ass.
one of the first names that popped in my head.
Right, Nick Marchand, who's been busting his ass, and a newcomer by the name of Frank the Crank. Excuse me.
Now Frank the Crank, he's probably the first student to start having matches, right?
Yes, indeed he is. The first student of JT Dunn to, I guess you could call it the first graduate of the JT Dunn dojo.
Now, 2014, right around the corner.
Yep.
What's coming for the future of RWA?
Well, I talked about this. I was on Wrestling Spotlight with Scott, and I kind of... I dropped the bombshell that maybe I wasn't ready to drop. I may have spoke too soon, but I'm going to try to get it done as best I can. I want to move into Massachusetts and start exploring. A number of fans have been asking, and I just think it's time to venture out, and we're going to be coming out of our comfort zone.
Yeah, a little bit.
And it'll either go good or it'll go bad, but we got to take that chance and see how we do. And I think we've got a lot of people who are familiar with wrestling in Massachusetts, such as you guys, Davey and Pyro and the Minutemen, the Minutemen, Tommy Trainwreck and Devin Blaze, not the Minutemen.
Not Minutemen anymore.
Right, not for me. It depends on where you go. I guess they kiss and make up on some nights.
Occasionally, yeah, on the weekends they're okay with each other.
Occasionally, it depends if it's not that time of the month for one of them. So yeah, Massachusetts is something I'm looking to venture into.
That's the next step.
I think so. I think that's where we need to go. I'm not trying to.
You're talking live shows.
Live show, yeah. I'm not trying to come in and step on anybody's toes because I know how people get.
Right, people get pissy.
I will stay far enough away. Is there like a recommended amount of miles away from a certain place?
Well,
I won't be anywhere near Fall River.
Right,
Steve,
I was gonna say Fall River's off limits.
I will not go to Fall River. I promise.
I mean, Fairhaven, Jamie will get mad, but
he won't do a goddamn thing about it.
Maybe not. I mean, because TRP ran at that deal next door, and
that's TRP. What is he going to say to TRP?
True.
I'm not calling him a bitch or anything. I'm just like, it's TRP.
Yeah, they kind of.
It's like
they ran New Bedford and Fairhaven, way before. But ACW ran at that place next door too. How
big is that place? That was pretty big, right?
Yeah, it's not a bad function hall. And I guess if you can probably get some sort of deal where they give you a discounted rate on the room and they take some of the house.
I bet Mack would like some room, like a room or two, right, for the ladies.
Yeah, but after
you
the show,
need two rooms, one to do your business in, one to keep them in storage, right?
Of course, I demand a personal locker room.
Okay, I'm sure we can arrange that.
If there's going to be ladies, I need a personal locker room.
For you got it. I mean,
and Trainee, he can hang out.
He can get some too that night.
I'm just hanging out in the bathroom though, just listening to the door. What's going on? What's going on in there?
I don't know if it'd be out of the realm of possibilities to be like, hey, Jamie, why don't you have a spotlight match on your show and promote your next show and do something in Fairhaven?
Right.
I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I get a hi and goodbye when I see him, and that's the extent of our relationship.
Yeah, I mean, again, that might go back to the stigma, like you were saying earlier. I don't know if he feels that way or whatever the deal, but. I mean, he seems to be okay with using your guys.
Well, why wouldn't he be?
It's about half of, if not more, of his shows.
I noticed. I was there.
As I said, especially this last Thanksgiving show, man, I was hanging out, and I'm like, am I at an RWA show? Is T upstairs? Are we running the VFW?
No. I think it takes a lot of balls to run on Thanksgiving night, and that's not something I would do. Obviously, he does. So, no, it wasn't an RWA show, and...
He last year drew great on Thanksgiving night, to the point where everybody was shocked it was that well. This year drew a little more what I think people were expecting.
Oh, I guess it's just one of those things. You never know how it's going to go. Could be either way, really. And next year, who knows? You may get 200 people. Is that place full 200 people? I don't know.
100 people, maybe 125. We'll call
125 it is.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about the training, the RWA training school. How did that idea come about? 'Cause I know the ring's always been open to the guys to go down there and work and all that stuff, but when did it start getting organized with classes and you guys have different trainers come in and work with the guys and all that stuff? When did that start coming about?
Well, I guess you could say the foundation was laid when JT and I kissed and made up.
Yeah.
Because we had a falling out for a while. He went and did his thing and spread his wings and obviously made several strides in his career to become what he is. And we had our personal differences. We put them aside, and he moved back into the area from Boston. And he's like, we could do something at the school, and I got these guys who are interested in learning. They had been doing ring crew for PWF and had been getting familiar with the confines of a ring, but never any official training. And they had expressed interest with JT. We had the ring in the building, and it kind of sprouted from there. And word of mouth goes a long way. it was Michael and Dave Santana who were, I guess you could say, officially the first students. And then you had some of the guys from the roster who would come down and learn from JT and better themselves as well. And it snowballs from there.
Now, how would some of the young bucks out there, or some of the young kids who are listening to this right now, looking into getting into a few training school? Because I never trained there personally, but I checked it out a little bit, and it seemed like it was a fun atmosphere. Usually, like a lot of the guys, it can be very intimidating, working with some of these independent wrestlers, and it seemed like the trainings that was going on in the RWA building seemed a little more upbeat and fun. Like,
I've never been to, say, like a top rope training. I went up to Brian Fury's school, and I gotta say, even that surprised me, because much like Brian Fury's school, RWA, everybody, you can tell right off the bat, it's very lighthearted, and people have fun and are very friendly, and there's no hey, you did that wrong, you suck, do it again type of thing. Everybody's very supporting of one another, and it really, anybody who's expressed interest, I tell them, come down, check it out. No commitment. I want you to feel comfortable. It's not about making money. It's about making people feel comfortable and helping them live their dream or become, if they want to become a WWE wrestler or just work in RWA. We just want to help them.
Now, is there like a website they could go to find out more information on the school?
The information is on the rwawrestling.net website. There's a couple of icons up at the top, the roster page and whatever, but there is a page that you can click on for training. There's some testimonials that I pieced together. A nice editing job by myself as I pat myself on the back. Yes, Barry Howard style. The testimonials mixed in with some of the things you can expect, like the calisthenics and what have you, and some of the drills, to kind of get you an idea. The information as far as contacting me from there is listed. The contact at rwawrestling.net email address, and if you like what you see on the page, contact me. We can work out a time you can come out and check it out and see if you like it, see if it's for you.
What days do you run training?
We originally started just on Wednesdays, but the class grew so much that we expanded to Monday and Wednesdays at 6. And it was really a good opportunity for people who were just starting out to kind of catch up a little and work with some of the guys who have been there a little bit longer, like the Santanas, and you can kind of come in from day one and get a feel for it and really catch up with, I don't want to say little or no effort, but in no time, really.
Now, as a promoter and a booker,
I'm neither of those. I like to call myself the flesh peddling promoter. Jesus, easy for me to say that.
Flesh. See, I'm messing it up too.
Yeah.
Flesh peddling promoter.
Yeah, it was used on WWE one time. I like that. That's me.
That's kind of what I'm going to bring it around to. As somebody who's always trying to come up with ideas for storylines and matches, do you watch a lot of the WWE? Mainly, is it because of the kids, or?
I do, because of the kids. No doubt about it. I will DVR through quite a bit of it that I don't particularly care for. Yeah. But I'd say I watch a good portion of it. Yeah.
How do you feel about the current TV product?
The current TV product isn't really for me. But a lot of people like saying, "Oh, the current WWE product sucks." No, it really doesn't. It's for kids now.
Right.
And you've just outgrown it.
Right.
That's really what it is. Cena's selling millions of dollars in merchandise. They're selling out arenas.
I just think, like, back when I was a kid, where they're like grown adults walking around going like, Hogan sucks. That guy's awful.
There were. I'm convinced. I know it. I think my parents were one of them. Like, this guy's a phony. My grandfather would always call him phonies.
He's a phony. So, what are your bright spots in the dub?
The things I actually care to watch would be, when Jericho, before he left, I would watch anything Jericho. Punk for sure. I'm not completely sold on Daniel Bryan. The character, the worker, obviously phenomenal.
Right.
Ambrose, I'm on that bandwagon.
You a Shield guy?
Mostly Ambrose. I really don't like if they are in fact going to break these guys up. I don't like the idea of it. I'm not really sold on a Roman Reigns babyface run if that's what they're trying to do.
And I mean, like, back in the day, they'd keep teams together.
I know that's like
forever.
It's like
before they broke them up.
Okay, it's ran its course, break them up, and that's going to ruin
them. It's been like a year, let these guys. Like, I mean, I was digging the whole coming to the crowd thing and Injustice and all that, but now they're like corporate sellout guys who just
hired thugs.
And it's still cool, but it's not. I don't know. It's not the same. Doesn't have that same cool appeal as when it
right.
first.
The Wyatts, however.
I was gonna say the Wyatts still rocking it. Those guys.
Still, they haven't ruined that yet.
And I mean, Bray Wyatt is a hell of a promo guy, and there's not too many of those left right now in the WWE that really wow you or make you say like, that was a good promo. Like you said, Punk obviously dropping the pipe bombs and all that. Daniel Bryan's promos aren't exactly like the most emotional things, but it's over with the crowd and the yes and all that nonsense. Right. Bray Wyatt, probably the next guy up, and then really after that it kind of.
Well, maybe. I saw the thing with what's his name, Sami Callihan, with the hacker gimmick.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever going to talk, but I don't know. Maybe he can.
That's only NXT, or are they doing that?
It's NXT right now. I don't know. Maybe that'll turn into something awe-inspiring if he talks or given whatever he says.
No, with going back to Bray Wyatt, you don't really see him wrestle too much, and if he is, it's not really. Maybe he'll do like a job match per se. And I think that's really good for business, so that way he's not being overused or anything like that.
If it wasn't good for business, would they be doing it?
Yeah, exactly. And they'll pretty much get to see him. He's a pay-per-view guy.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say. Even at the pay-per-view, it's like him and the two dudes against Punk, right? In a 3-on-1 or something?
Yeah.
Something weird like that.
That's Bryan and the Shield, right?
Yeah, they're both in these like weird handicap matches.
Last week was the first time I was able to watch because Verizon is a terrible company and didn't bring me my internet in time.
Was saying, "Yeah, screw you, Verizon."
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I just want to go on record and say
throw that out there.
I love Cox now.
Yeah, he hearts the Cox. Cable, of course.
Cable, yeah. Somebody's gonna cut that and
just loop it. It's gonna be a ringtone. T loves Cox. Over and over again. Tom Billington is my guess. Is gonna be the one doing it. I really enjoyed having you on, man. This is I got to find out a lot of stuff about RWA that I didn't know.
Oh, I'm glad it's been educational. I had a great time,
dude. I want to say one of my favorite podcasts that I've done because it brought back so many like you saying, like the stories that were brought up like flooded my memory. They weren't there for a while, like they're like locked away in a little safe, and then
I totally forgot about that time we bitched out on doing what
I'm talking about. Showing up and being like, I don't know about this shit.
On the way over, I was like, I wonder if this is going to come up. It might come up. What do I say? I was going to go with the truth.
Yeah, just like I don't remember specifically, but it was most likely us going like, I don't know if we should wrestle.
I was thinking, I don't know if I should be here. It's my building.
Before we wrap this up, I want to get some secret info out of you. I want to bleed you for the secret info. Do you have anyone in mind that you're trying to bring in to do a show that you really haven't dropped that bomb? You can drop bombs on Wrestling Spotlight, but you can't drop bombs on the Mackcast.
Dropped the bomb here.
Yeah, you dropped the bomb earlier.
I'm the wine. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, the match for the January 4th show.
I don't want another one. Oh yes. I'll be tweeting myself.
It's not tweeting. But
text messaging,
voting,
right?
Yeah.
Live voting. Yeah. I got a phone.
It's one of those rotary phones. I don't know if you can use that. Yeah. I see it. It's hanging up right over there. A bombshell.
Well, is there anyone in mind that you've been trying to get down, or maybe you're in the works with trying to contact?
If I could get Chris Hero, that would make my day.
Right, yeah.
That would make my day, because I obviously would love to be the first to have that match, because that would be me standing on top of the building with my middle finger up in the air saying, fuck you. Fuck everybody. I got it. I made it happen. But
Have you ever tried contacting him, or has anything ever been in the works?
I have not tried to contact him because I thought it was already a done deal somewhere else. But I think if I've got the story straight that maybe there's a scheduling conflict at a few other places. Then there's the issue of I don't even want to know how many goddamn dollars he wants and how many tickets I'm going to have to sell.
I mean, a lot of those dudes. I mean, he wasn't on TV. He was just rocking the NXT deal. But guys from TV, when they first get off of TV, it's like $10,000. And it's like,
I don't know how true it is. Another guy I would love, but this is like a pipe dream. AJ Styles, and I saw something on the dirt sheets that it was like $3 or $4 grand. I don't even know if that's true or not, but if it is, I can't do that.
Yeah, that's a little high.
I don't know if I got some sort of inheritance coming to me, but
I think you can get the honky tonk man for $500.
No.
Yeah, you're good with the honky.
I'm good.
So T, is there any last words? Any stories or anybody you want to call out? I
don't know. Drop a name and we'll see what happens.
We bang out some.
If you want, I don't know.
No.
Furnace on and trying to get some heat going on.
Yeah, warm up the apartment.
Now, normally you get like hundreds of hits on these things.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
I don't know if I'm well known enough to get all these hits. We'll see what happens. But I would hope that maybe, just maybe, you get hundreds and hundreds of emails, just angry emails.
Yeah,
saying,
people. Yeah. I can't believe he said this about me.
Sorry, LeMay.
Yeah, it'll just be LeMay sending you hundreds of emails. It's all from him. We'll talk about the Burning Hammer Heat.
Love the Burning Hammer. Love Mayor McCheese.
Oh, and man, who do you think it is? This is a question we ask everyone too. So,
my answer's actually changed quite a lot.
Well, I think McCheese has changed from
I think
Burning Hammer to Twitter. I think it's different.
Yeah. A name I hear a lot, and it makes a lot of sense. I'm not saying it is, but Gino Giovanni, his name comes up a lot. And with the knowledge that this Mayor McCheese has, you got to wonder. And Gino's the type of guy that have the same knowledge. I'm not saying it is, but it could be.
It's a good guess.
I looked him in the eyes, and I asked him if he was Mayor McCheese, and he said he wasn't. I believed him.
Well, I don't know. Well, who do you know that likes kissing JT Dunn's ass?
Gino Giovanni.
I see. You said that. I don't think he kisses JT's ass.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't agree,
he's a
Mac.
stand-up guy that wouldn't kiss anybody's ass.
The opinions of Monster Mac on the Maccast are not of Trainer Number 1 or T Phoenix.
Ryan Drew's name's been mentioned a lot because from my understanding, this is only what I've heard. I haven't seen it, but he's got nothing nice to say about anybody. That's only what I've heard. I'm not going to be like everybody else and say, that no good mother. No. I've only heard that. Is it true? I don't know.
Ryan Drew is nothing but smiles and sunshine. I don't know where everybody gets the opposite opinion from.
The internet.
Yeah,
I heard it on the
goddamn internet. It's got to be true.
It's got to be true, right?
It's got to be true.
Bonjour.
I don't know, man. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that we didn't already talk about. We kind of covered everybody that we mutually know. I mean, we talked about Scotty and LeMay, of course. We talked about Ricard, and again, we've covered a lot of ground.
The other guy that we didn't mention by name.
Yeah, that guy, that promoter that ran those shows that we were not happy to be at. I heard that you at the last IWA show, you came out rocking a Mack Attack shirt and yelled, "Promoter, let my people go," because you thought we were at his show.
I got some bad information. I may have read a message of yours late in the night and misunderstood where you were going to be that night. But yeah, I did say let my people go.
I thought that was when I heard that. I thought that was hilarious, man. That was great.
You can find that on YouTube.com/the RWA Forever in the coming weeks.
Yes, I say, is there anything that you want to plug out there? The Twitter, the YouTube.
You know what? I have a Twitter account, and I say, with the amount of people following me, I should say something constructive, but I hardly ever do.
Yeah.
I don't care if you find me on Facebook. I'm not some sort of social media whore like my good friend JT. And that works for him.
It does.
Sorry, JT.
He's been hustling doing it, man.
You better be listening to this. I sat through yours. Yeah, he is a hustler, too. In the good sense of the word, of course.
Of course.
he lives, eats, breathes wrestling 24/7, and has earned every goddamn thing that he's gotten. And there's plenty of people that don't like that. There's plenty of people that do. I'm one that does. It's easy. Like my kid. I'm proud of my kid, JT. I'm proud of him. And it could easily be said because he's a friend, but it hasn't always been that way. Even when I didn't care for him so much as a person, I looked on and like, damn, this fucking kid's getting better.
Yeah, like you could see it clearly that he's picking it up more and more.
He was carrying around a lot of dead weight, but since then he took care of that, and it's really been like the sky's the limit for him. And I hope something good comes out of this for his sake. He wants it. He really does.
And the RWA YouTube is youtube.com/RWA Forever.
Yes, the number 4 ever.
Is it the RWA Forever or just RWA Forever? Because I get confused. Apparently you get confused too.
You know what? Whatever I said the first time around, you'd have to play it back. But whatever I said the first time I plugged it, that's the one.
All right, yeah. Pay attention. That's the one. And Facebook is facebook.com/the RWA Forever. Yeah. So it's
probably with the.
Yeah, I think that one has the.
On YouTube, I usually put Monster Mac RWA, and it all shows up for me.
You know what? A lot of people get mad too because in those tags, I tag other people's company. So if you look up like Monster Mac WCW,
so RWA.
RWA comes up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I like the tactics.
Yeah.
It works. Try it. And you know what? A lot of other people's stuff isn't online. I went looking at. All right, not the guy we were talking about, but another guy.
Okay.
Okay. He may or may not have initials in his name. I went looking for his stuff, and I almost couldn't find it at first.
Right, just any of it online.
And it's only certain things too, and I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Whereas we put everything up,
just full shows.
Everything. It could be random nonsense. We put it up. If it's gonna make you laugh, we put it up.
Right.
Like even with Tom and the Snickers bar. That's how he becomes the hooligan.
Yeah.
Tom, eat a Snickers. Why? Because you're not you when you're hungry, and he turns into the hooligan. That's
Bites
funny.
It gets all crazy.
Made me laugh.
I was gonna say, man, you guys put a lot of good work into the RWA, and
my wife hates me for it.
I'm sure it's taken some personal tolls on you.
You know what? If I may.
Oh, of course.
I think I should do this. I should thank her publicly for every bit of shit she puts up with, and dealing with me. I'm not an easy person to deal with, and Lisa, I'm going to make you listen to this. All 2 hours of it, or however long it's been.
142.
142. I was going for JT time, but I guess not.
I was going to say, man.
Maybe next time. Thank you, and I love you. And for anyone who's busting my balls about being a sour or
a softie,
or a woman's body part right now.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Mulva? Is that what you're trying to
yes.
Mulva?
That's it. Oh, that's the word I was struggling for. Thank you.
I love Seinfeld. I'm sorry. That was just my random Seinfeld reference of the podcast. T, it has been great having you on, man. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you again. Make sure you guys check out RWA on YouTube. Watch the videos. Comment, like, share, do all that good stuff. There's a lot of great guys there and a gal. And they tear it up. They leave it all in the ring, man. It's super entertaining. Be sure to check it out.
It's always a damn good time at the RWA. Believe that. I plan on doing some dancing coming up. We got a show for them. I'm looking forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's the Mackcast. I'm Monster Mac. Train number 1 sitting on the side of me. We're all saying goodbye to Mr. T Phoenix. And you have an awesome life, everybody. Good night and goodbye. And good day.
Go to monstermac.net. All the time, every day,